Welcome back to your safe place. Are you or someone you know struggling with depression? Never mind, because by the end of this video, I'm sure you'll have done some introspection. It's a silent battle that too many people face every day, but it doesn't have to be a struggle fought alone. In this video, we're going to take an in-depth look at what depression really feels like and why it's so important to shed light on this topic. By sharing personal stories and expert insights, we hope to not only educate but also empower those who are struggling with depression to reach out for help and know that they're not alone. So, if you're ready to join us on a journey to better understand depression and support those who are affected by it, hit that like button now and let's get started. Depression is a common but often misunderstood condition that can have a profound impact on an individual's life. It can be difficult to articulate the complex emotions and experiences associated with depression, but it's important to try to understand and support those who are struggling. From the physical symptoms to the emotional and mental effects, we'll do our best to give you a comprehensive understanding of this challenging condition. Do you know what it feels like to wake up every day with a heavy weight on your chest? To have the energy and motivation sucked out of you, leaving you feeling drained and hopeless. This is the reality for millions of people who are struggling with depression. It's a silent battle that can make even the simplest tasks seem insurmountable. But it's time to break the silence and shed light on this important issue. So take a moment to watch this video until the end and let's start the conversation about what depression really feels like. Depression can feel like a heavy weight on your shoulders, a never-ending fog of sadness and despair. It's like a voice in your head that whispers all the negative thoughts that you can't seem to shake. It's like a light switch that can turn on at any moment and make the world seem grey and dull. It's like being stuck in a dark hole with no way to get out, no matter how hard you try. It can make you feel like you're alone in the world, with no one to talk to or listen to. It can make you feel like you don't belong anywhere, like you're an outsider. It can make you feel exhausted and like you can't do anything, no matter how hard you try. Depression is a very real and serious mental health condition, and it can be hard to explain to someone who has never experienced it. But hopefully, by understanding a little more about what depression feels like, we can start to break down the stigma and create a better understanding and support for those who are struggling. Have you ever woken up feeling so exhausted and drained that you could barely get out of bed? That's how it feels for someone with depression, every single day. Even if they get enough sleep, it's still an invisible weight that brings them down and makes it hard to do daily tasks. Depression may be invisible, but it's always there, making life harder than it should be. Have you ever felt like life had nothing in store for you, as if you were going through the motions but nothing ever felt truly fulfilling? That's what depression can feel like. It can make it feel like nothing has any joy, and even the things you used to enjoy become mundane and tedious. Classroom lectures, for example, can seem like they're lasting forever, and you're just counting down the minutes until it's over. Depression can make even the most vibrant of things lose their luster. Here is another. Feeling overwhelmed and uninspired? You're not alone. Many of us have a hard time concentrating on tasks we don't enjoy, and life can seem overwhelming at times. But it's important to remember that you're not alone in feeling this way. That's why we're here to help. At Your Safe Place, we want to create a safe space for people to openly share their struggles and encourage one another. So if you can relate to this, comment below and share your story. Together we can help each other find hope and inspiration. Here is another question for you. Have you ever felt like you just can't measure up to others around you, that no matter what you do, it's never enough? This is a common symptom of low self-esteem, and unfortunately, it's something that many people with depression struggle with on a daily basis. It's not just about wishing you looked like the models and influencers we see on social media. It's about feeling like a failure, like the world around you is doing just fine, but you're the one who's stuck in the mud. It's important to remember that depression is not your fault, and it's not something that you can just turn off. but it is possible to work on improving your self-esteem and learning how to stop comparing yourself to everyone else. It might be difficult at first, but with the right help and support, it's possible to move forward and find the courage to be your best self. Now I will make you think. Have you ever felt like you're not in control of your relationship with food? Be honest. On one hand, some people may use food as a way to distract themselves from their depression or to avoid feeling numb. On the other hand, some people may find themselves under-eating due to their depression. Either way, it can be a tricky cycle to break. Eating when you're feeling sad, bored, or lonely can be a way of self-soothing, but it can also lead to more complicated feelings in the long term. If someone you know is struggling to find the motivation to eat healthily, approach the situation with kindness and understanding. Avoid any negative or judgmental language, like telling them they should be grateful or that they're taking things for granted. Instead, try to find out what's causing the lack of interest in food. It might be a deeper issue, or it might be something that can be addressed in time. Whatever the case, remember that it's not something that can be resolved overnight. I wish it could be that easy. Feeling hopeless is a daunting feeling that no one should have to experience. But if someone is dealing with depression, it can be hard to see a light at the end of the tunnel. They may feel like things will never get better and that they'll never be able to cope with their depression. It's important to remember that this feeling is temporary. There are many resources out there to help people with depression learn how to manage their symptoms and cope with their emotions. It's also important to find someone to talk to, whether it be a friend or a professional. By reaching out, you can find hope and start to get your life back on track. Do you ever have nights where you just can't seem to drift off to sleep? I'm sure you have them sometimes. You lay in your bed, tossing and turning, trying to get comfortable, but no matter how hard you try, your mind just won't switch off. You can't help but worry about the job interview you have in the morning. Depression can be a huge contributor to unhealthy sleeping patterns. People with depression struggle with insomnia as well as other mental health issues like anxiety. This makes getting a good night's sleep even more difficult. Maintaining a healthy sleeping pattern is essential for both your physical and mental health. Sleep deprivation can take a toll on your well-being, leaving you feeling tired, irritable, and stressed. Alternatively, people suffering from depression may sleep excessively, using it as a way to distance themselves from their hardships. No matter what is causing your sleep disturbance, it is important to work on establishing a regular sleep schedule. Your body and mind will thank you for it. And here comes the most brutal part. Pain. Pain is something that can affect both your physical and mental health. For example, if you're dealing with chronic physical pain, it can take a toll on your mental state. Have you ever experienced this? Just imagine dealing with severe physical pain on a regular basis. For some, this is their reality. Physical pain takes an emotional toll and can cause stress, depression, and even feelings of hopelessness. It's important to recognize that physical pain can have a mental impact. Depression can be difficult to comprehend, but it can be easier to understand when you think of the physical symptoms people with depression go through. Body aches, headaches, nausea, and muscle tension can all be part of the experience. So we wanted to provide insight into what depression actually looks and feels like. Are you tired of feeling trapped by depression? It's time to take control of your mental health and fight back. Are you searching for hope and inspiration in your fight against depression? Look no further. In this next video, you'll hear a powerful personal story of one individual's journey to overcome depression and reclaim their life. From the depths of despair to the heights of healing, this story will provide you with a unique perspective on the challenges and triumphs of battling depression. So if you're ready to be inspired and empowered, click to watch the video on how to fight off depression from a personal story.